ghetto. Mr. Lamar, do you really know how to play the game? Then tighten up.
So Uncle Sam, aka Master Sam, Samuel Jackson, Samael, gonna get into that later, tells Kendrick Lamar to tighten up, play the game, go along, get along. But this is his version of America, so he's playing his own game. They don't want to mess with Kendrick. As far as what he's conveying, they picked the right time, but they chose the wrong guy, as Kendrick says. So he's playing on this theme of his own version of America, his own version of the world. If this world were mine. So we're going to get into it. The conveyance of the American flag with the dancers also goes back to what was referenced earlier or early on last year when it was announced that he would perform at the Super Bowl, where he pretty much did the commercial in front of the American flag with the throwing of the footballs and whatnot. And it's supposed to give you this element of like his version of America. This is why he has like the black Uncle Sam and whatnot, all surface level. But the understanding is pretty much him conveying this element of like godhood. Like this is his world. This is why you have like songs like Luther, If This World Were Mine. Songs like Man at the Garden, which is an allusion to Adam, going into like his version of the world. Because Adam, he ate the fruit, or he was taught by Eve who ate the fruit, and he became known as a god. So it all comes together just when it comes to what he's conveying. It's like he's telling you that he's a god and this is his world. If this world were mine, I deserve it all, And also the American flag symbolism pretty much encapsulated the whole night. We already know the eagle is the emblem for America, the eagle, the bald eagle. So the Eagles won. And Kendrick Lamar conveyed this whole American type theme. Also, just on a different or more extensive level, deeper level, we already understand that certain events take place before the Super Bowl, certain news. We had the Luka trade and also other things like the Philadelphia plane crash. But the Luka trade was, it was something that pretty much matched what we would see with the Super Bowl, because Luka, with the bald eagle tatted on his arm, was traded to the LA Lakers. Kobe Bryant played for the LA Lakers. The Eagles, they advanced to the Super Bowl on Kobe Bryant's death date, January 26, 2025. They advanced to the Super Bowl on that day, on Sunday, for the sun god, which is, a big element when it comes to the death of Mr. Kobe Bryant. Also, Kobe Bryant, his last appearance was at a game featuring Luka Doncic, which was based in the transfer of energies. It's like, that send-off, because he already knew that Luka was coming. Believe it or not, he knew that Luka was coming before he passed. That's why this whole thing leading up to the Super Bowl with Luka was so prominent. It was just an underlying conveyance, an underlying connection, rather. The Luka, the Kobe element, Kendrick Lamar performing Peekaboo, which is in reference to the whole Drake thing with XXX Tentacion, 666 Tentacion. Kobe Bryant is referenced on that song, going into the 81-point game where he faced the Raptors, the Serpents, right? The Serpent on his 666th game. You see how all this stuff ties together? It's so crazy, yo. Kendrick Lamar obviously playing that role just when it comes to the references. Drake, Toronto, Kendrick, LA, Kobe, It's just so much. So this is what I mean when it comes to just everything just coming together as far as the encapsulation. When it comes to the conveyances, Kendrick Lamar has always shown you that he's someone who's ardently a divine feminine worshiper. He venerates the feminine principle. Around the time of Mr. Morale, when he had that little concert where he was in blood trying to mock Yahweh, talking about Godspeed for women's rights. Just nonsense, but he's someone who's an ardent divine feminine worshiper. He was on a song with Mac Miller. It's called God is Fair, Sexy, Nasty, which they pretty much trying to say God is a woman on that song. The song is on the album The Divine Feminine. That's the name of Mac Miller's album, The Divine Feminine. That's the last song on the album. Kendrick Lamar is on it, letting you know that he is someone who is a part of the programming when it comes to worshiping the divine feminine, because most of these celebrities that partake in that is based in their programming, like Steph Curry with his mom and his wife and his daughter, showing you that in certain conveyances when it comes to what he's really a part of. And it's not to take away from these guys and their talents. I'm just giving you the real. This is what it is. This right here is what you see. This is the inverted pentagram, representing an alchemical symbol for water, going back to the mother goddess known as Amphitrite, the Greek goddess who was the consort of Poseidon. And in this context, Kendrick Lamar plays the role of Poseidon, just in this context. Obviously, he's conveying other elements of what he's a part of when it comes to the veneration system, the sun god and whatnot. So there's a lot to these symbolic messages or the imagery and whatnot. See, and this is why he has SZA performing on the inverted pentagram, because it's supposed to cover the basis of what this is about when it comes to the conveyance. It's about the mother goddess. It's about his worship system. This is why, during the performance, he has the women. He's talking to the women and whatnot. He always just conveys that and pushes that. And there's nothing really wrong with that on the surface, but it's just going into the understanding of what it really goes back to. You know what I mean? So SZA right here, she has on an all red because it's also in reference to the mother goddess known as Bridget, which is another version of Amphitrite. Bridget was known as the mother goddess of fire and water. So you have the red and blue element, also going back to the Masonic, because when it comes to the understanding, it's always associated with blue, often depicted as blue, just when it comes to the alchemical symbol for water, which is what we see here. So the blue and red, we get the understanding. All right, so this is Revelation chapter 17 and verse 15. And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the horse sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. So this is how you get an understanding of what the seas is in reference to. We understand that the scriptures, for the most part, is parabolic. So the seas is in reference to people. That's what the seas is in reference to. And this is why I say that when it comes to the alchemical symbol of the inverted pentagram going into the feminine principle, it's an allusion to the mother goddess of the seas, which goes back to Eve because she was the mother of the nations. Adam, we all come from Adam, and Eve was the mother of the nations. So this is how we get an understanding. Also, when I talked about how, the serpent said that Adam and Eve shall be as gods if they eat the fruit. And this is what occurred just based off of that prophecy in the left hand, as well as the people that survived after the flood, where they became gods because they built that tower, the original Luciferians, in which is referenced in Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 12. So this is what I'm going into in regards to the understanding, just when it comes to, everything revolved around the inverted pentagram or the alchemical symbol for water. All right, so this is Revelation chapter 17 and verse 15. And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the horse sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. So this is how you get an understanding of what the seas is in reference to. We understand that the scriptures, for the most part, is parabolic. So the seas is in reference to people. That's what the seas is in reference to. And this is why I say that when it comes to the alchemical symbol of the inverted pentagram going into the feminine principle, it's an allusion to the mother goddess of the seas, which goes back to Eve because she was the mother of the nations. Adam, we all come from Adam, and Eve was the mother of the nations. So this is how we get an understanding. Also, when I talked about how, the serpent said that Adam and Eve shall be as gods if they eat the fruit. And this is what occurred just based off of that prophecy in the left hand, as well as the people that survived after the flood, where they became gods because they built that tower, the original Luciferians, in which is referenced in, the street light here references a certain form of enlightenment, but on the surface, just going back to the essence, just when it comes to, black art and how we convey the musical element, really, really dope performance. But, on a level of esotericism or just going beyond the surface, we understand that the lamp or the street light, the light represents a form of enlightenment, or like a halo per se. And this is him performing under the street light performing the song Man at the Garden, which is in reference to Adam. This is in reference to Adam, just, on a small level when it comes to the conveyance, the underlying conveyance. It's in reference to Adam, man at the garden. I deserve it all. He was supposed to have it all until he fell, right? This is why Kendrick Lamar, once again, has that song Reincarnated, goes into, his aspect of falling out of favor with the Heavenly Father, just like Adam did, So, man at the garden. He's performing this song under the street light, on the surface, going into the essence of just how we express our art as far as black people. But when it comes to the conveyance underlying, we already know. Going into the enlightenment element. And this is why he performed, specifically that song for it. Because it all ties together. Man at the garden. It's like, I reached my plateau. I deserve it all. Fire and ice. We already touched on these themes. We already understand the alchemical element. Fire and ice. The red and the blue. Also the Masonic. Bloods and the Crips. Democrats and Republicans. Red corner, blue corner. We always see these themes. And this is where it comes from. The Masonic, that's where it comes from. As well as the esoteric, the Luciferian. That's what it is. It's just the truth. Like, none of this stuff should be crazy to you guys. You just got to understand reality. It's a constant theme of what they push. She even has a song, SZA. She has a song called Saturn. We know that the number 6 is in reference to Saturn. And that was a big prominent element of the whole Kendrick Drake beef. 616 in LA, the Heart Part 6, the whole 6 theme. 6 and 6 in reference to Molech or Baal. And this is why you saw, let's get the image. Or a screenshot rather, still shot. As you see here, Samuel Jackson throwing up the 2 yonis for the number 6, referencing Saturn. 6 and 6 also in reference to Molech or Baal. Just giving you an understanding. Samael, Black Uncle Sam, or the Uncle Sam, original Uncle Sam, is an allusion to Samael, half man, half goat. Samuel. That is not a coincidence, because it's in reference to the goat. Another composite is the Baphomet, which is pretty much one of the gods of the music industry. I Want You. Remember on Kendrick Lamar's Heart Part 5, at the end of the song, he says, I want you. Samael, it's an allusion to the Baphomet, the goat god, which is an allusion to Pan. It's so crazy. That's why I say he hovers over the music industry, because Pan is another version of the Bacchus. Bacchus going back to Nimrod, who is the son of Cush, Ba Cush, meaning the son of Cush. This is stuff that we already understand. But you see how it all ties in once again. Samuel Jackson, I Want You. Kendrick Lamar has a song, Heart Part 5, where he says, I want you, even though, that's small, but still, And we already understand what the GOAT represents. And I Want You is a play on, like, I want your soul. That's what it's a play on. It's a play on I want your soul. The U.S. Army thing, that's all surface level. Because of what we understand in regards to the origins of Uncle Sam, it's easy to deduce as far as the understanding of what this represents. That's why the U is emphasized. I want you. I want your soul. I want you, right? Like, it's crazy. Another part of Kendrick's programming is his veneration of the sun god known as Osiris, as well as the god of the dead. When it comes to the element of the depiction of all black, this is why you see these Saturnians, they wear all black, or these Osirians, they wear all black, because it's in reference to Saturn as well as Osiris, the god of the dead. Like in the movie Star Wars, Darth Vader, he played Osiris, right? Because that was the composite in regards to the version that is based in the worship of the dead, the god of the underworld. But he's also known as the sun god as well. Like Horus, because he was reincarnated as Horus. That's why Kendrick pushes this whole reincarnation shit. It's also giving off Horus, vibrations. Horus also is known as Lucifer. And on the song Reincarnated, he goes into the element of, revealing what he is and who he is and what the entertainment industry worships. It's just that it goes over people's heads. They don't understand what the hell they're listening to. on the song he's telling you. So you can't tell me I'm crazy when he's telling you. He's speaking from the perspective of God, where he says, my greatest music director was you. He's like, you like what? Come on. And they say I'm crazy. They say the brothers like us that have a sound mind and we understand what's going on, we crazy. It's here. We like it just is what it is. Ancient Egyptian statuette of Osiris in the X formation, which is in reference to him as the unknown god, also in connection with the god of the dead or the underworld, which is all pretty much under the same umbrella, also known as the hidden god when it comes to the Saturnian understanding. You know, the Roman god known as Saturn or the goat. You know, the hidden god. This is why the celebrities, for the most part, they wear all black, especially in public appearances. Like Kendrick's interview at the Super Bowl event, before the Super Bowl performance, he had on all black. You know, they're Saturnians, they're Osirians. This is what they venerate. So in the hip-hop world, the rap world, 2024 pretty much kicked off what will be revolved around J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, and Drake, just when it comes to quote-unquote rap war. And the whole big three element was prominent, just in regards to the esoteric understanding. J. Cole, he released his album Might Delete Later, which was pretty much a form of predictive programming for what he would do, because he was teasing this before the whole Kendrick thing even happened. So it's him letting you know that, hey, this was all supposed to happen. This is all orchestrated, if you pick up on it. So he would delete the song that he would diss Kendrick on. But the reason why I'm going into it is because of the album cover with the 3 bars. You see right here, these 3 bars, or these 3 squares per se, is in reference to the 3 bars of the I Ching, the trigram, going into the worship of Horus. You know, but when it comes to the mythology, the Chinese mythology, is in reference to the dragon, the god of fire. But it just goes back to Horus, the sun god. The number three going back to Katesh. Remember, Kendrick Lamar and his divine feminine, the worship, the veneration system when it comes to his programming. So all that stuff, you know, it's all revolved around that. Just when it comes to the number 3 and the element of how it goes back to the trigram of the I Ching, as well as the number 3 when it comes to Katesh, the triple goddess. This is why Kendrick Lamar pushes the whole woman theme. And like I said, on the surface, it's nothing really wrong with it. But when it comes to like the constant, we understand, as well as just the symbolism. Like I said, there's something wrong with it in terms of just the overt like blasphemy, because he had the whole concert where he was talking about Godspeed for women's rights. So I guess you could say in that sense, because that's just overt, that's blatant. But when it comes to just, you know, the art, the dancing and stuff like that with the women, that's cool, it's okay. But that's a part of the programming is what I'm getting to. That's just what it is.